What you're about to watch is a video I started making 2 years ago, but haven't finished until now because I've had exams and honestly, I forgot this video existed. This means two things. One, I get to post more content, and two, this video probably won't be relevant anytime soon, but hopefully you enjoy it. Today we're talking about Palm Springs, a really enjoyable time loop movie starring Andy Samberg from The Lonely Island and Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and the wife from The Wolf of Wall Street. This movie is about two wedding guests who find themselves stuck in an infinite time loop, reliving the same day over and over, and over the course of that time, they end up liking each other. Who could have seen this coming? Not me. I had no idea. Ever since Bill Murray got stuck in an infinite time loop with Andie MacDowell in the film Groundhog Day, there have been several riffs on the time loop genre. Now, most of these films are decent or pretty forgettable, from action sci-fi movies like Edge of Tomorrow and Source Code to horror movies like the Happy Death Day series, or, if you're looking for a really bad example, Pete's Christmas. I doubt anyone's seen this film. For those of you who are wondering, basically Zachary Gordon, aka Greg Heffley, has to repeat his terrible family Christmas, and over the course of the film, essentially he begins to appreciate life more, because he meets a cute girl and she teaches him to love life, and it's really boring. It's no surprise that the time loop trope has been used so many times, because straight away you've got the main source of conflict, whether or not your character will get out of the time loop, and if your movie's similar to Groundhog Day, you've also got the main character's arc. Character who doesn't appreciate life is forced to relive the same day, learns to let go, and eventually starts to appreciate life more. Again, see Pete's Christmas for a good example. Add a love interest for character motivation and you've got yourself a pretty enjoyable time loop movie. However, there is just one problem, because believe it or not, time loop movies can be repetitive. Groundhog Day may have been groundbreaking when it came out back in 1993, but nowadays time loop movies just aren't doing it for me anymore, and this is coming from someone who doesn't even like Groundhog Day that much. Enter Palm Springs. This is the movie to save all time loop movies. No more will we have to suffer through another generic time loop movie, and I can tell everyone's really pleased about that. While Palm Springs hits many of the same beats as Groundhog Day, it never fails to be fun or engaging, because apart from having likeable characters and a tight script, Palm Springs has not just one person going through a time loop, but two. It's surprising no one's ever done this before. I mean, in Edge of Tomorrow, Emily Blunt knows that Tom Cruise is repeating the same day, but they never go through it together. Meanwhile, in Palm Springs, you've got the interesting scenario of two people suffering through a time loop, and the film tackles that concept really well, offering plenty of surprises while staying true to the genre. The same goes for the romantic comedy in this film, which manages to subvert expectations despite following the same path as most movies in the genre. One of the reasons why this film succeeds is that it keeps things simple. A lot of the time, sci-fi movies get weighed down in heavy exposition and complex rules that are more than likely contradicted later on because the screenwriters failed to stick to the movie's logic. Palm Springs avoids this, however, by not explaining anything in that much detail. Of course, you have a basic understanding of how the time loop works, but it never feels like they're pausing the film to give you a shed load of information. The movie knows exactly what it is and never takes itself too seriously. Even though there are a few minor plot holes, I was having too much fun to care. Another great thing about this film is the dynamic between Andy Samberg and the wife from The Wolf of Wall Street. There are several funny and charming moments between the two of them. They're very likeable and watchable characters. I think the casting choices across the board were fantastic, especially the two leads. It's nice to see Andy Samberg in something other than Brooklyn Nine-Nine. It proves that he can play serious roles, and who knows, maybe we'll be seeing his face in a lot more romantic comedies down the line. Unfortunately, anything other than the two main characters and J.K. Simmons I did not care for. There is some pretty weak romantic drama, and some of the acting from the side characters could have been better. There is also a reveal later on in the film that felt underdeveloped and like it only existed to satisfy a certain character's arc. Moving on to the technical aspects, I didn't think there was anything that notable. This is Max Barbacal's first film, so it makes sense that there isn't a distinct voice or style. Nevertheless, I thought the fun tone fitted with the retro style they were going for, with all the vibrant colours and atmospheric 80s soundtrack. There were some great editing choices when it came to depicting the time loop and the effect it's having on the characters. Also, a couple of fun montages. Despite some cheesy looking visual effects, I think the technical aspects are really well done. The editing is fast paced, the film is colourful and nice to look at, and they capture the fun and lightheartedness that you'd expect from this type of movie. In case you couldn't tell, I had a lot of fun with this movie, and you will too if you decide to watch it. Palm Springs is a great and surprising time loop movie that doesn't waste your time and doesn't take itself too seriously. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.